guys, welcome back. We've got a very broken, I believe, McLaren Artura here at Guyan Road. It's being uploaded onto the flatbed. But this is not the main focus of the day today. We're actually going to be heading to Fuji Speedway to check out some hypercars. So, not entirely sure what the event is, but we know there are some big cars on display today. So we're going to head up there right now, see what we can see. So I guess without further ado, let's hit the road. Okay guys, so we're gonna jump in the E63 here in a second and head to Fuji Speedway. But before we do that, I gotta ask you guys a question. You ever been sitting in your car and thinking like, man, I could really use some better throttle response out of this car? Nice McLaren GT goes by. Well, good thing, I've got the answer for you right here, the Wind Booster. So this little guy right here that you see, that Wind Booster has graciously sent me, is absolute magic. And they sell a product for pretty much any car, including things like an E63 AMG-S, but you can get anything from a JDM to a supercar, plenty of Euro stuff too. Wind Booster has it all. And the great thing about this thing, it's plug and play basically. It's super easy to use. Just plugs into the accelerator socket behind the gas pedal. Also comes with a USB port that you can run this little monitor through, which is fantastic. You got the two little buttons there, switch through different settings like sport, race, track, everything like that. There's a drag setting too. It's super cool. So whatever you need from your car's throttle response, Wind Booster has it solved. And the awesome thing is you can pick one of these bad boys up right now at shop.windbooster.com and use the discount code 6cars at checkout for 15% off, guys. Trust me, it's awesome. I absolutely love this thing. The cars are running so good with Wind Booster. So I'll put the link to the website in the description. I'll have it on screen here too, shop.windbooster.com. Go and get yours now. Without further ado, let's head to Fuji Speedway. Okay, start off with a couple of Huayras here in the hypercar section. So right here, this beautiful purple carbon Huayra Roadster, still my personal favorite example of the Huayra, just the plain Roadster. The body styling on this is just perfect. I think the best example they've done with the Huayra design. So many little intricate details too, just in the intakes and the grills and everything. So clean, and yeah, purple carbon is just so nice. But the back of the Roadster is a little different than the coupes. We'll go look at that coupe in a second. But you can see just over the taillights, it's got this really nice little arch shape to it. You can see that doesn't really exist on the coupe, and I think that's just such a nice little touch to it. Such a good looking car. And yeah, as promised, the black coupe, very nice. It has the Tempesta package too, so it's got this extended front chin spoiler or front splitter off the front, and then yeah, black on black looks really good. And it's interesting, a lot of the new Paganis are like the bare exposed carbon. This one is just paint, very cool. Within the aero flaps on the front are finished in carbon. And then I do really like this detail on the headlights. So the casings are just painted in silver. Really makes them pop out and stick out. It's really nice. And you got the silver brakes too. And then you got these like silver gray accents inside on the seat. Really nice looking car. And then this exhaust on the Huayra. Absolutely love it. That titanium multicolored finish. And then yeah, the back, the rear diffuser section is all painted in carbon fiber. Super cool. Check it out, we just caught this in time. The V12 Zagato, incredibly rare, so sort of the predecessor to the new Vanquish Zagato and the Aston Martin Zagato partnership. Incredibly rare. I myself have probably only seen one of these ever, so I'm not sure how many they built, but incredibly rare. And it's a manual, as you can hear too. So cool. There it goes, just caught that in time. Here, check it out, we've got not one, but two Porsche 918s here, the modern Porsche hypercar, the 1/3 of the Holy Trinity. So this is a standard 918, so non-WISEC package. So there's some smaller differences to it, but it looks so good in white. And then we do have the red interior as well, the red seats, the red dashboard and everything. Looks really good. And the non-WISEC package, you sort of have these windmill looking wheels, which do look kind of cool. But as we'll see on the Martini one over there in a second, does have different wheels, depending on whether you get the standard 19 or the Y6 package. But this is the standard one. It still looks absolutely fantastic. Car is aging so well. The second 918 that we have here, finished in the iconic Martini livery, and it has the Y6 package as well. So you get the different lightweight wheels, you get that modified front end that has that small little front carbon fiber lip spoiler. You also get the rear end with this special carbon fiber rear diffuser. So good. 918 is aging really well. And the Martini livery is just awesome to see. It was a factory option. Not a lot of people got it though, so pretty rare to see a 918 on its own. But then with the Martini livery and the Y6 package, man, that's just the cherry on top right there. And there's the money shot, guys. So I'm sure if you watched my Christmas Hypercar Cruise video, you will recognize these two Bugattis and the very special purple car that's sitting back there, which we'll get to in a second. But this is all owned by the same man, Zozo. So very rare for him to bring all the cars out like this. So incredible to see them here on display at Fuji Speedway. And if you remember that event, it was super busy. So many people, kind of hard to see the cars up close without fighting crowds. But now we can get a better look at some of the details. So this is the Hermes edition Veyron, so collab with the fashion designer. So you can see the grille has all these little H's in it. There's so many tiny little designs. And yeah, brown, dark brown on light brown. So cool. Yeah, basically matches the fashion designer's colors. Absolutely incredible. And then you've got all the Hermes markings there on the gas fill cap. You got the center cap on the wheels, the Hermes H as well. And yeah, the active aero wing on it. Finished in light brown. Super good. One of the coolest examples of the original Veyron that I've seen. So awesome. Yeah, here is the Chiron, so not an Hermes edition, but it's a bloody Chiron. How can you resist checking this out again? It's absolutely beautiful. This sort of off-white, almost cream color, and then it's got this incredible like orange interior too. Man, this was sort of an underrated car when we were at the Hypercar Cruise, just because of the caliber of all the other cars there, with the Hermes Veyron, the Zozo, which obviously we're going to be looking at again in a second, but this Chiron looks so damn good. Absolutely incredible looking. Such a cool and unique spec on this thing. And yeah, the back on the Chiron looks absolutely amazing. I'll never get tired of this taillight design. Just a small light bar sticking across. Looks so good. And this is the standard Chiron, so it doesn't have the sport upgrade. So you can tell, a big way to tell actually is just by looking at the exhaust. This is the standard exhaust, whereas the sport upgrade sort of removes this silver housing and just exposes the four pipes. So the standard Chiron. And then there's that big old quad turbo W16 exposed in the back. No glass covering over it. It's just fully exposed. So cool. Yeah, I think without further ado, we should check out the Zonda Zozo again. And there we go, reunited with what I am arguing is the coolest car in the country here in Japan. Anybody can fight me on that one. It's a bloody Zonda Zozo, one of one. The incredible purple paint finish on this with the carbon accents, the purple brakes. It's just such a special car. And we saw this back on the Christmas Hypercar drive where the owner took all of his Hypercars out on the highway. So it was really cool to see them moving, but we didn't really get to look up close to them because there's just so many people there, understandably. But we do get a much closer look at them now. You can see a lot more of the details. The purple leather straps around the Pagani, and then you can see the owner even has his name engraved on the engine casing. Didn't want to get close, someone was taking a picture there, didn't want to interfere. You can see Zonda Zozo engraved on the AMG V12. So cool. There you go, better look at that crazy quad exhaust that sticks out of the back of the Zonda. And we get to see the other side of it, which we don't always get to see. Very rarely do you get this up close and personal with a Zonda. It's just incredible to be able to see all of the details here. My goodness. There's just so much going on with this car. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, we saw this before, but you literally can never ever get tired of seeing a Zonda. This is the modern day hero hypercar. Oh man, it never gets old, guys. Unbelievable. And check it out, just on the other side here with the rear hatch open, you can even see the little plaque giving you all of the curb weight of the Zonda, and then you can also see the high performance Zonda 760 designation on the side. And yeah, also pointing out the 7.3 liter Mercedes AMG 12 cylinder. My goodness, this is very, very special to see this car up close, guys. I know I've said that a few times already, but just can't reiterate how special and how important the Zonda is in the car scene. It just never ever gets old. What an incredible car. Okay, it started in E mode. We didn't miss the startup. So. See how easily the mirrors fold in, getting ready for transportation. Gonna be loading up another Huayra onto the truck. Okay, well, there's a bit of a break in the action after watching the Huayra Roadster and the Huayra Coupe load up. I just show off this cool AC Schnitzer M4 competition, just because the color looks really good. Finished in this sort of like forest green. The multi-spoke wheels with the gold brakes is really nice. Pretty good looking car. And then this is also quite cool. I've got the C7 Corvette Z06 shooting brake. So trying to remember who it was that does these conversions. I think there's a couple of companies that does it, but I think this is the Callaway Aerowagon, if I'm not mistaken. But super cool. You can see obviously they gave it the shooting brake style. Very, very unique. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the big Callaway badge at the back. So yeah, the Callaway Aerowagon C7Z06, such a cool car. Not sure how many of these conversions they did, but it is quite rare, especially in Japan too. I can't imagine that there's more than a handful of these, if any, in Japan. So very, very cool to see this car.
我傻眼欸 Veyron 跟 Zonda テクノボールアクレリ中村ポール15番スピードに当たるナンバー63 N1 チャレンジウェットレビュー安田智弘太爽了太爽了太爽了
How about our luck, guys? We just caught the Zonda, the Chiron, and the Veyron all driving up here to join a few more hypercars. So Apologies if there was a bit of shaky video because it was super random. The cars driving up towards us. We had no idea they were coming, so I had to grab the camera as quickly as possible and get what I could. But they are joining a few more hypercars. So you got the big old Landaulet G-Wagon over there. We've got the black Enzo. We've got the 177 that we saw. So again, same owner as the trio we saw back there. So the same cars from the hypercar cruise. This is a new one though, the Vantage Speedster. Not sure if it's the same owner or not. Nevertheless, super cool, and I have not seen these before, so let's check it out. So yeah, this is Aston Martin's take on the modern Speedster, supercar, sports car, however you want to call it. The windshieldless, open top sports cars. So, all familiar with the Ferrari Monza and the McLaren Alba, but this is Aston Martin's version, the V12 Speedster, based on the Vantage. It's pretty cool looking, I gotta say. I haven't seen one before, but it's really cool how they separate the driver and the passenger side with this carbon fiber bar through the middle. There's a lot of interesting details on it. And I do like the color. It's sort of like a mixture of British and olive green, but a lot of cool little details. You can see the clear glass covers back there behind the headrest to actually keeping some carbon fiber helmets in there, which is really cool. And obviously with no windshield, you probably should be wearing a helmet to keep all the stones and the bugs off of your face. Yeah, that is very cool looking. And yeah, we'll just backtrack here to the Enzo again. So cool. This is such a good design, has aged so well, the Enzo, and black on black wheels too, with the red interior, super rare. Obviously, most Enzos and most of the Ferrari hypercars obviously finished in the classic resale red Rosa Corsa. So whenever you see one that is not finished in red, it's always pretty special, and you've got to take a second to appreciate it. And yeah, the Enzo design is just so cool, so timeless. It's aged very, very well. And speaking of aging very well, we've got probably the most recognizable modern Aston Martin supercar slash hypercar. I don't know. Would you guys label it as a supercar or a hypercar? The 177. So damn cool. Just so many unique parts on this car. It's incredible V12, and then the styling is just beautiful, obviously, as well. Looks so good in white. And yeah, only 77 of these in the world, so it's an absolute treat whenever we get to see it. So even though we've already seen it once before, we have to appreciate it again. It's just so cool, and you don't get to see them very often. There we go. Tokyo Car Week. Huayra on the open top carrier. Good googly moogly.